Camino Toolbox, Midnight Express, El Camino Chevrolet.
Lamont out of Southern Illinois travels the circuit with his lovely wife and 2 sons, and he is definitely a contender for his 3rd national championship. The plain old Toolbox, El Camino, definitely a truck to watch. The rest of the drivers are keeping an eye on him. You notice the intensity of the driver as he steps in. The engine sounds real strong at this point.
Good run.
Yeah. Oh. I have no idea what went wrong. The engine is still running, but the vehicle is stopped.
As you heard Army say, Ken Lamont had a very strong run going, but Army is making his way over to Ken to ask him exactly what happened.
I don't have any idea what's wrong, Army. It just quit on me. At first I thought it broke a blower belt. I don't know if it's mechanical or electrical or mechanical or what it is, but we're going to do our best trying to figure out what it is.
Did you get a chance to look at the oil pressure gauge? The engine was actually running when you're sitting in an idle. We could hear the engine running, so the kill switch didn't come out.
Yeah, that's why I don't know what's going on. I don't know. That's what I'm going to have to find out.
We'll let you get back. Good luck. Hope to see you later.
Thanks.
Well, we'll go into the pit area a little bit later on, see if we can find out what the problem is. Coming out next is going to be James Richard Chapman. The guys on the circuit call him Dick. Dick Chapman in that D50 Dodge. It is powered by a 541 cubic inch engine, and the distance he's trying to beat is 141.38, as we have found out that Lloyd Hauser has accepted his test pull.
Okay, that'll mean the track is official, the sled's official. This young man's kind of interesting out of the state of Kentucky. He used to run this truck with a smaller engine in a smaller class. He stepped up to run in the professional category. Wild Round, the name of it. Dodge Sheet Metal, Chevrolet for horsepower, trying to go on the other side of a 141. He does it.
149.13, so Dick Chapman jumps into first place here in Charlotte, North Carolina, but I doubt if he's going to stay there very long, because our next puller coming out is Mike Stowe. Mike Stowe, the Bad Dog Ford out of Warrington, Georgia. He is the 1988 defending national champion on the Redman circuit, and he is looking to make it a repeat title in 1989.
He can definitely do it. Part of the Stowe family pulling team. Very active family involvement in this sport to get him that national championship. He's very appreciative of his mother and his father. They're really involved in the sport. Stowe wants this win today for the national championship points. So very important. Ken Lamont's had problems. That could come and play later in the year. If Stowe could put a win under his belt here today, it would really help his cause. And it looked like a beautiful run. The weight looked great, Richard.
Oh, wow. He really takes over first place. 173.17 for Mike Stowe and the Bad Dog Ford out of Warrington, Georgia.
Well, it's official. You're sitting on top of this thing, but this has to be one of the most hectic nights we've had on the tour.
Yeah, everything that can go wrong has gone wrong so far. I got a little too far over to the right. It's a little soft on the right. I believe the guy can stay over to the left. He'll get by me.
They don't think it's going to hang on to win?
If it does, it'll fool me.
So Mike Stowe not real confident, but he sits in first place right now. When we return, we've got more great two-wheel drive action on Powertrax and ESPN. Back to Charlotte, North Carolina for the Redman TNT All-American Pulling Series. We're midway through the super modified two-wheel drive competition. We just saw Mike Stowe in a Ford take the lead with a pull distance of 173.17, and here comes another Ford, a beautiful Irish Challenger with Dan Walsh aboard.
Dan Walsh comes out, goes to the left side of the track. Now, in Stowe's interview, he mentioned to stay away from the right side of the track. Walsh is doing it, working that left half mark to perfection. 173 is the payoff distance. Not going to do it, Richard.
Good enough for second right now, 169.02. So that 640 cubic inch Arias engine does the job for Dan Walsh and the Irish Challenger.
169.02. Not bad for a green truck on St. Patty's Day.
No, not bad, but I was too heavy up front. I think if I was 200 pounds lighter, I think I could have won another 10 foot.
Our next puller coming out is Army. I think this is one of your favorite guys on the circuit. He is only 23 years old. Mark Miller, the Mini Brute Chevrolet out of Little Plymouth, Virginia, but he has been on the circuit 5 of those 23 years.
Yeah, he's a very interesting young man. He's a gentleman. I'm awfully proud to be involved with him. He follows the circuit with his uncle, who drives a Virginia farmer tractor, who we'll be seeing later today. But right now, this young man is trying to nail in on this points chase. He can do it. This kid, even though awfully young, has a tremendous amount of time in the seat, and in any motorsport, they'll tell you that's the most important thing. He may be young in years, but in experience, he's right up there with the best of them.
Let's see what the Chevy can do. The weight looks good, Army.
Yeah, good ground speed. Now it starts to sky on him. You know, the right side of the track is not the place to be. Mike Stowe told us that, and the rest of the drivers are not aware of it, Richard.
153.20 for Mark Miller. There you see Mike Stowe working with Ken Lamont down there, and also Paul Norman trying to get the Ken Lamont Midnight Express machine fired up. It does not look like it's going to happen, though.
No, I believe they're having fuel pump problems is the word that we're getting right now, and they're thrashing, trying to figure out how to get it fixed.
So it does not look good for Ken Lamont, as that is his crew chief telling him, no way we're going to come back. So we're going to move on into competition with John Heilman. He is the driver of the Ford Thunderbird out of Rockford, Ohio. John, another veteran of the circuit, been there for 14 years.
Heilman's won national championships in the tractor category. He's no newcomer to the two-wheel drive combination, using a Ford fiberglass body Chevrolet for horsepower. And just not going to make enough horsepower today, Richard. Falls short by about 20 feet.
150.29. That is good enough right now for third place as he narrowly passes Mark Miller's distance. And that is going to bring up our final truck of the competition. And looky here, it is probably one of the drivers that the other drivers fear most. Jim Lyons out of Louisville, Kentucky. A legend in his own sport. He is driving the Stitches GMC.
Well, not only in the sport of pulling, in the sport of circle track racing as an engine builder, the sport of drag racing as an active driver and participant, Lyons into this class, he could be your worst nightmare in this black GMC, the Stitches truck, out of Red Ball in Spring, Tennessee, but it's not going to be, and I guarantee you the guy that's going to be tickled to death is going to be Mike Stowe. He never expected to win this thing tonight.
Jim Lyons' distance 150.07, so your winner with a 173.17 will be Mike Stowe.
The problems were tremendous. The competition was great. We talked to you earlier after the run. You said yourself you didn't think that would hold on to win, and you did.
Well, it fooled me. Of course, there's some of the guys like Kenny that didn't get to run. I got off on the sorry side of the track, I thought. I really did not think it would hold up. I figured it would be 2 or 3 Bobby, maybe even some out the gate.
Okay, the 89 indoor season comes to a halt here in Charlotte. Now we're getting ready to go outdoors. Will you make any changes? Will there be a new Mad Dog, a new look? We've been hearing all kind of rumors. This is the time to let us know.
Sure, Army. As soon as we leave Charlotte here, I'm going down to Mr. Tony Osteen's house, and we're going to put on a brand new 1989 Ford body that I received through Ford. I would really like to thank them because they thought enough of me to help me out with that body. I'd really like to thank Kendall, which is one of my other sponsors. And we're going to put it on and try to have a nice new paint job ready when we get to Nashville, Tennessee.
So our congratulations to Mike Stowe. Let's run down the final top 5 standings. 5th goes to Jim Lyons and Stitches. John Heilman in the Ford Thunderbird 4th. Minnie Bruce, Mark Miller 3rd. Dan Walsh, the Irish Challenger, takes 2nd. And the winner tonight in Charlotte, North Carolina, Big Bad Mike Stowe and the Bad Dog Ford out of Georgia. But more great action straight ahead. We're moving on to the Super Modified Tractors Band TNT All-American Pulling Series from Charlotte Coliseum in North Carolina, where we move next to our 7,200-pound modified tractor division. And for this Army, the track has been lengthened a little bit.
Richard, they added 5 feet to it, so we're going off a 185 track for the heavy hitters in the sport, the multi-engine modified tractors. And look who's the first one to come out, Mr. Dave Banner himself.
He is driving the Mr. Chevy tractor. David is the winner of 15 Grand National Championships.
Leaves the Chevrolet horsepower. Left side of the engines are starting to go away a little bit. He comes across the track. It's definitely going to hurt him. Dave Banner, they call him Mr. Chevy at a 168.02, Richard.
And remember, a full pull distance will be 185 feet. And the crowd getting ready next to see one of the best drivers on the entire circuit. He's been doing it for 6 years now. Big John Carlton. He calls his tractor the Virginia Farmer. It is powered by Chevrolet. He is out of Little Plymouth, Virginia.
I want you to keep an eye on this class as to where the engines are located on the tractor. Now, Carlton, you notice the right hand on the throttle as he goes forward down on the horsepower end. He runs all his engines straight in line with each other. The track is really giving them problems. They're zigzagging on the track, but they're all starting on the left, but they're not ending up there, Richard.
But look at the distance for John Carlton, 182.46. so he will take over the lead early in this competition. John Carlton. Our next puller out will be Paul Norman, the All-Pro War Wagon. He is from right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. He's the guy that always wears the black hat, and Army spent time earlier with him talking about his hat and his hometown hero status.
People have come to identify myself with a hat. I can go in somewhere without it. Nobody knows who I am. We can go in a truck stop or most anywhere now, and I can be with people that have been in the sport for years longer than I have and are more well known in tractor pulling circles than I am. But people immediately pick up on the hat. It's more or less my identity.
So the black hat's your trademark. Doesn't mean you're a bad guy, but does mean they're going to have to keep an eye out for you.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be hammering on the back door.
Well, let's see what this former drag racer and 10-time points champion in North Carolina can do. Paul Norman and the All-Pro War Wagon.
Comes out and does a little stutter step on the start line. He moved the throttle and backed and moved it again, and it really worked for him. Look at this, Richard. He's bombing it out the other end.
An awesome display of power. Paul Norman has got our first full pull of the night. And look at these fans in Charlotte, North Carolina. They are cheering on this hometown hero with his lead pulling distance.
Paul, the word is an official full pull. Congratulations on a beautiful run.
Oh, thank you, Army. The All-Pro Auto Parts floor wagon hooked up, done real good. We did a little back pedal in the hole. I think it helped it come out a little bit. The back motor went sour on us. We got to get back here and see if we can find out the problem before we run the pull off.
So Paul Norman is now your leader with a full pull, and get ready for a real story coming out next. It is going to be Ken Lamont for the first time in his career driving a modified tractor which belongs to Fred Freeman.
Well, Freeman normally drives a tractor. He's not able to be here tonight because his son is being baptized in their church. We want to wish him all the luck. But look who steps up on this tractor, and this kid's got a big grin on his face, Richard.
So Ken Lamont for his first time ever, and you spent time with him earlier.
The plain old toolbox vehicle you normally drive is two-wheel drive. This is two-wheel drive. You run one engine. This has three engines. You got to be a little bit nervous.
Well, I don't know if it's nervous so much as it is kind of something different to look forward to. The two-wheeler, I've said for the last year I need to get the butterflies back because we do it so much it's just kind of like getting in a car. You know, you don't even think about it. You just get in it and do your normal program. And this is going to be different. If the front end comes up, I'm going to be pivoting different. Because on a two-wheeler, I'm sitting out on the front, and when it comes up, I go up with it. But on a tractor, you're back at the pivot point. So that's going to be a different thing. Plus, an added two motors. It's going to be a different feeling.
So let's see if Ken Lamont is as nervous as a moose in a phone booth. For the first time ever, he's out on a modified tractor, and he's rolling.
I tell you what, Richard, he looks like a kid with a new toy. He's laying down a super shot. Richard, he's going out of here. Look at this. First time on a tractor and a full pull.
A full pull. The first time on a modified tractor, Ken Lamont makes a full pull. Holy buckets, what more can you say?
Ken Lamont, your first ride on a tractor. It looks like you're having more fun than a blue ticket ride at Disney World.
I tell you what, Fred's been telling me for years that he was going to give me a good ride. That's great. I tell you what, my wife has been scared to death. As soon as I got on one of these horsepower machines instead of one motor and a two-wheeler, I'd be wanting one. I think she's right. That's a lot of fun.
Okay, now the fun part we understand. Paul Norman made a full pull. You made a full pull. You're still in this thing. Could take a win. Do you think there's any way possible? Beginner's luck? Could that be you tonight?
Well, I hope so. As sour as I look with a two-wheeler, I'm due a little bit of luck.
I'll tell you what a story developing in Charlotte, North Carolina. 2 full pulls and more great action coming up straight ahead with more Powertrax on ESPN.
Powertrax and the Redman TNT All-American Pulling Series is brought to you by TNT Motorsports, the nation's leader in pulling and monster truck racing.
Welcome back to Powertrax, where Army Armstrong, I am still nearly breathless as we have had 2 back-to-back full pulls and maybe more to come, as out next is John Powell and the Cracklin' Rose. John out of Apex, North Carolina, so kind of another hometown hero here. He has been pulling for 12 years, and he's running 557 cubic inch engines.
Right now, the scenario is this, horsepower. Paul Norman runs the Arias engine. He made a full pull. Lamont goes out of here with the Chevrolet, and we're looking at a Chrysler trying to go out. The front end comes up on him a little bit.
Give it to him.
Whoa.
Give it to him. We have got 3 full pulls in a row. This one by John Powell. Now tell me, is it the track that is doing this, or is it the horsepower?
The track is coming in is what it is. Now, just as quick as the track can come to you, it can go away from you. And John Heilman, who's scheduled out next, he knows it. He also relies on the Chevrolet for horsepower, so let's see if the track will hold it.
John Heilman out of Rockford, Ohio, 47 years old. He's been a puller for 14 years. He is going to try to make it 4 for 4 with full pulls.
Heilman very intensely sets on the English chassis vehicle, uses Chevrolet for horsepower. Not going to get the ground speed he needs. The sled is really getting it tough about the last 20 feet, Richard.
179.48, so he breaks our string of full pulls, but not a bad distance for John Heilman. And now it's our final tractor. This one belongs to Dave Walsh. The Irish Challenger is what he calls it. He is out of Mountain, Wisconsin. He also runs the Arius engine. There you see Paul Norman getting tuned up for the pull-off.
Well, he said the back engine wasn't working for him on his run, so what they're doing, they're rejetting the engine right now. Look at the intensity of the Irish Challenger. Right hand on the throttle. Watch it when he moves. He's coming after you. A little bit lighter than nose. 3-engine combination not going to work for the gentleman from the north.
He gets pulled down by the sled at 183.88. So we are going to have a 3-tractor pull-off here in Charlotte, North Carolina, coming up in just a moment. But right now, let's move on to our Redman TNT All-American Pulling Series question of the week. And this question of the week about the Redman TNT All-American Pulling Series comes to us from Mark Rogers of Shelbyville, Kentucky. And Mark wants to know why the distribution of movable weight is so critical on the 2-wheel drive pulling vehicles. I have with me Mike Stowe. Mike, the driver of the Bad Dog. He's the defending Redman TNT national champion. And Mike, tell us about this weight distribution on the 2-wheel drive pulling machines.
Well, we use our weight to balance our trucks. We move actually 100 pounds at a time. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more, from front to rear to obtain our correct balance. We want to get a total transfer of our weight to our rear wheels to get maximum traction and not to lose drawbar. When the front end comes in the air, you lose drawbar height, which reduces your power to pull because you lose your leverage on the front of the sled. You want to keep the front end just barely tipping the ground and maybe a little off, you know, to get your maximum transfer of weight, yet keep control of the vehicle.
Now, how do you determine where to put this weight?
Well, you have to judge the track. You have to become a pretty good judge of soil. You have to judge the moisture in the track, and therefore you just make a guess, kind of a blind guess, especially the first night that you run on a certain track, to tell how much weight you're going to need on the front.
If you have a question of the week about the Redman TNT All-American Pulling Series, send it to us at TNT Motorsports, 5515 Poplar Park Boulevard, Louisville, Kentucky, 40228. And if we use your question on a future television broadcast, we'll send you free a TNT Motorsports hat. You know, we might want to mention Mike Stowe there was our winner earlier in our modified 2-wheel drive competition. But right now, Army, they're adding weight. That means only one thing. It's time for a pull-off.
3-way pull-off. Charlotte, North Carolina. It's going to be the War Wagon going against the Lamont vehicle. Oh, look what's happening here now. The first time tonight, somebody is going to start on the right side of the track. Everybody in both of the classes we've been watching have always started on the left side. Not to be the case right now. Norman is moving out into no man's land. It's nothing more than a crapshoot. It's either going to work or go away on him.
This crowd in Charlotte pulling for him.
It's going to work. Look at this run. Beautiful straight as an arrow, Richard. This guy's going to be tough to beat.
167.84. Now that will be the distance that our next 2 pullers are going to have to beat if they're going to win this competition here in Charlotte. Coming out next, Ken Lamont aboard Fred Freeman's Mean Mistreater.
You know, we were talking earlier about the fans that follow Norman. You notice all the gold hats? That's the all-pro fans that are following the War Wagon. They're set number 1, but believe me, Lamont's going to go after them. Rolls in the throttle real quick. You can see the right hand is already down. Front end starts to sky on it. Chevrolet making the horsepower. Not going to be there. 167 was the lead distance. Lamont only 147. 20 feet down, Richard.
Now, that says something about Paul's ability to move into no man's land on the track and get such a great distance.
Yeah, he was the first one to go out there, but believe me, the next tractor up, we're going to find out exactly where he wants to go. These drivers can spot this sled wherever they want. Norman's your leader. He sits with his crew chief on the side. Only one more vehicle can put him away.
That is the vehicle of John Powell. He calls it Cracklin' Rose. He also out of North Carolina. Here he goes.
Went to the left side of the track. You notice the front end's up, the wheels are cocked all the way to the right. It's not going to work for him. Paul Norman's going to win this thing, Richard, and the people are going to go crazy.
But awfully close as Powell goes 164.18. But the crowd cheering the man in the black hat. There he is, the champion of the modified tractor class tonight, Paul Norman. Here's your final top 5 standings. John Carlton 5th, Dave Walsh 4th. 3rd place goes to Ken Lamont. 2nd to John Powell, and your winner tonight, Paul Norman, the All-Pro War Wagon. For Army Armstrong, I'm Richard Leek. We'll see you again on the tracks across America.